Next, I want to talk about signing videos. Now, I had a few ways to phrase this, but Callum wrote a question in, and it says, so everyone doesn't keep blaming the marketing team at Palace, can you go through the process from a marketing / social media point of view when signing new players?
Yeah, so the current process is great. When I first started, when I first started, I remember I was at a training ground. It was the window, we signed Chungy, and he was signing in the port. It was when the office was in a porter cabin. We were in the main building. We were waiting all day for him, and then Phil Alexander came up and went, "Did you get your interview?" Like, what? We've been waiting for you to bring him to us. He's like, "Oh, I left 10 minutes ago." Oh, Jesus! So we completely missed that. But now, yeah, the Dougie is like open, saying be available like next week or whatever. We might have two coming in, and then the day before or two. Well, you know that you see the rumours anyway, and then you start thinking of ideas, and then
do you know who the players are?
If it's a deadline day, so a lot of the time at the start of the day they'll say to us who the possibilities are, and there's been so many that we haven't. Frederick Rono was at every deadline day, the goalkeeper.
Was he Norwegian?
Yeah, I felt like we were going to sign him every deadline day for about 3.
Good.
Yeah.
And it never happened. Yeah, so you'll kind of like read rumours, but then because I had a relationship with people at the training ground, I'd say, is this true? And then you just get a bit of gossip, and then I'll go, right, we need to prepare for this. And then the player will, well, a lot of the time also, we know when people are tracking flights saying, oh, a flight's coming into Biggin Hill. I'm like, they're on the fucking Eurostar and it's booked for tomorrow. Like, the majority of that time is nonsense, and they're coming on Eurostar.
Yeah.
And they'll come in and then they'll do their medical. And then between the medical and everything being signed and complete is when you do the video. So the video never slows down, apart from only one time has an announcement been delayed because of us. That was Adam Wharton, but that was only because they
wouldn't let him in the Clifton.
No, they were. He was in the day before. We were in Central. He was staying in Battersea, but the day before we had like a plan. We were going to do it in Soho, and then he was in Battersea. But his agent was very clever. His agent wouldn't let him do any media until everything was signed, whereas usually you do it in the gap, and then you've got a little negotiating thing that you can say. I guess I don't know. Well, he's already done the thing now. Well. Anyway, but his agent is the only one that's ever said no. Absolutely, he's not doing anything until it's all signed. And then it got so we're going to do it outside Battersea Power Station, and then it just got too late, and then it hadn't been agreed. So then the next day he trained in the morning. And then we did the stuff at the Clifton.
Well, that's when
which no one wanted to do, actually. It's like a nice story with him and his mum. They turned up, I said I want to do it at the Clifton, and everyone was overthinking, we can't do a transfer announcement in a pub. We're a sports team. I was like, we can, it's funny. Like, the joke is just that it's expensive in London, that's it. And then so they were going to do like a Wes Anderson-y thing around. And then I said to him and his mum, we were going to do a thing in a pub where you go, how much? And then he was like, I love that. Oh, can we do that? I was like, oh, no, we're doing something else. And then his mum, while he was doing the other one, his mum said, please, can we do it? Can we just do it? I was like, yeah, all right then, fine. So I went in the Clifton and said, can we film in here? And they were like, yeah, no problem. And then I just said to everyone that was in there drinking, we're about to bring a player in. We're not going to announce him yet. I'd love it if you didn't tell any of your friends that we're doing it. And then we were just in there for 10 minutes and no one said a word.
Nice. That was a great video as well, actually.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah, that was funny. I was quite happy to end on that one. But yeah, I made the decision a couple of years ago. We used to be so precious about not leaking anything. Oh, we can't do that. People will find out. But everyone knows they're happening now. So I went, fuck it, let's just do it wherever.
Yeah.
And if someone so we had Rob Holding giving out the Evening Standard at Piccadilly. So people were filming on their phones, but it didn't make it online.
Yeah.
And
what's he doing now?
That's another one where I don't know the story on that. It's annoying because I've known the answer to everything for years, and I don't know why he's playing for the 21s.
Yeah. Well, I think it's something to do with refusing to do the warm down is the rumour after a game, and basically got into a conversation with Glasner, and as I say, he says, me and him know why it is, but apparently Patrick O'Connor, who we used to do Homestyle Radio with, was over recently, and he went to one of the youth team games, and he was saying that Rob Holding was brilliant.
Yeah, he
Like
said the
he
same
was
to
like
me.
really conducting himself well. So even though
he's a great guy.
he's banished over there playing in that team, he's still like looking out for all the kids. He's giving them advice. He's
Giving out
putting in
the
his all
evening
on the
standard.
pitch.
Yeah, I just
One
find it
for
so
you.
surprising. He's such a lovely guy, like really nice, really personable.
But it must he's made the move from Arsenal to come to Palace, probably on the belief that he's going to play in the first team, and then since Glasner's come in, he's just signed centre backs.
Yeah, we're just like ninth choice centre.
Yeah,
back.
exactly.
It rarely happens though. Players getting banished to other things. I haven't
Hasn't
seen
really happened
it,
at
like,
Palace, has it? Really?
Damo under Frank de Boer, like was training down at the academy, and we had a camera down there because we were filming someone else, and he just ran over and went, "This camera doesn't fucking film me." Yeah, got it.
Thank you,
Understood.
Damo.
Understood. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into De Boer a bit later. So we're going to stay on signing videos for a bit. So Flynn Downs is the famous leaked one where he's holding up a Palace shirt.
Oh yeah, but I think it was he was getting shown around the academy because it was around. I can't remember, where was it, the academy? I wasn't there. He was getting shown around, but yeah, we were on standby, but we didn't do the photos or anything. He was just a shirt was printed up as like a buttering him up kind of thing.
That's what it would look like.
Yeah, it wasn't a shoot. We've never done one where a player's posed for stuff.
Okay.
I feel like we did Solanke. We didn't do any film with him, but we'd made a cool video, and then I think it was a medical, wasn't it?
Oh, was it
He
really?
went to Bournemouth, yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's a bit of a mistake.
Where's he now?
But I think-
right now he's in
no, but-
Turkey. I think they will lose him.
They were.
But to be fair, like the first, he got injured really quickly at Bournemouth and was out for ages, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's
it
true.
took a while. What were the other ones? Umar Niasse was the funny one on deadline day. That would have been, there was a mad night. We did Mamadou Sakho.
Yeah.
And then I was sat in the chair, all cameras and lights ready to interview Umar Niasse. And we just saw the feet go down the stairs and then out the door onto Beak Street. So it never came back.
Well, I mean,
And then he died for a penalty.
yeah,
Yeah.
bullet dodged though on a massive scale.
Yeah.
He's
He ended up at
banned
like
from league football, like
Stockport or Mansfield.
Mansfield. I
Yeah.
think it was.
Macclesfield, maybe.
Macclesfield. Yeah, I think that might be right. Yeah, but there's that. It's knowing various people like who are mates with Parish and so on. You hear about so many players' names are mentioned, and of course you have to have first, second, and third choices and all of that. So you're obviously having these discussions with players. So when you must get privy to this information, like you say with a goalkeeper, you must know of so many players who have been like,
Yeah, there was loads I've
On
written
the
questions
cast.
for
yeah.
that have never happened.
And what's some of the best ones? Who do you look back and think that would have been a good signing? With hindsight,
I feel like none of them have. I'm trying to think. Ollie Watkins, I felt like that was going to happen for ages. Because couldn't we have had him for like really 2 million or something?
yeah, I think there was.
We were definitely linked with them, weren't
I
we?
could be wrong, but then again,
then there was Ben Rama as well, famous.
yeah. But these ones, Watkins, that wasn't from anything official at the club. That was just from the rumours at the time.
What was the Ben Rama in the training shirt one? Because that was leaked. That was not. I don't think it was at Palace. I
No,
think it was.
someone must have
Oh
given
no, wasn't it like a? It was someone who was training him in the summer.
Okay.
I think it was nothing. Definitely nothing. Palace-y.
Okay, all right, fair
I think
enough.
any other ones you got questions about?
What's your favourite signing video? What's the one that you like? I like that.
I like the Adam
The
Wharton
Adam
one. I
Ward
think.
one. Yeah.
Because I thought it was simple. Should have been so many. I found out. To be honest, I got a bit bored of it after a while. There was a phase where it was all about the signing video, and I was like, why do we have to do this for every single player? So we kind of said, if there isn't a story, if an idea doesn't jump out, then just don't.
I mean, not Palace ones, but there's been some shocking ones
Yeah.
in recent years from other clubs. Like what's the Chelsea? I can't think which Chelsea player it is, where their kids like getting a shirt.
Is it
printed.
Rudiger?
I think it is Rudiger.
Yeah. It's
I
really
want
bad.
Rudiger, and they're like, you can't have that. He doesn't play for Chelsea. And then they're like, I want a second. Like, it's fucking really bad, really bad. And we've never seen anything like that at Palace.
The worst one was the James MacArthur one. That was my idea. The Friends Reunited one.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those things where you forget that you're older than everyone else,
Yeah.
People don't have the same reference.
Was it James
points.
McCarthy?
It was James McCarthy
He-
signing.
Yeah.
And then we had James McCarthy from Deadline Day going, yeah.
I mean,
It was dreadful. We deleted it.
it's still out there as a gift though. Like,
Yeah. Deleted it. It's the only time we've ever deleted it because I always say, I'll just leave it there once.
Which one had the tasty jerk in it?
that one.
Was it that one?
Yeah.
And then the smoke as well for the
Yeah.
manager now.
Were you?
Oh, yeah, that was-
Were you aware of the Jaroslav Jack Poles in the Arthur thing?
Yeah, so we had a meeting. I remember it was at Box Park before, and we said if we ever sign a Polish player, we have to do polls in the Arthur. And then the next month we signed a Polish player, and we couldn't believe
Maybe that's why he was signed.
we went
Right.
so big
'Cause
on
did
that
fuck all
signing.
else.
Yeah.
No,
God.
Because it's the first time we got Seb in to do photos as
Yeah.
well. Because obviously he was amazing, but also he was Polish, and I was like, well, this is a great reason to get Seb in. So we did loads of photos. We had him in that upper of the Homesdale in the Arthur.
Like the
And he
whole
never
interview
played.
as well was like, I can't wait to play in the big derby against
Yeah.
Brighton. Like I thought we'd signed like an absolute gem.
Yeah.
And then I watched him play for the under-21s at Sutton, and he looked not a gem.
Yeah.
Well, I did have a question from Nick saying, "Was Erdal Rackett real?"
I'm trying to think what I ever saw him do.
Do you know? Because I was, funnily enough, I think I was coming home from Switzerland or something maybe, but it was the picture of him where everyone was like, "Why has he got a massive gut?"
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing I really knew about.
That's the
him.
other mad thing about fans when they say about players carrying weight. And you see, like they always
I've
say
never
about
seen
Schlupp. I was like, have you ever seen Schlupp take his top off? He's
It's
stacked.
just stacked, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I always talk about the Nick Barmby for Hull taking a corner in front of the Homesdale and him running out, trotting over to take it. I was, you fat bastard, you fat man. Whips in the corner, whole score, turns around, faces the Homesdale, just lifts his shirt off and it's just stick like muscle was fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fair enough. Fair play. Yeah. Right. So yeah, we'll move on from signing videos now. So we've got an idea of the process. It's not him holding it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the media team. It's it's always in the gap. And Dougie's really good at he completely understands it as well. So
What's Dougie like?
yeah, really good. He's clearly good. He's brilliant at his
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he like to deal with?
For me, yeah, really good. The only thing is like a little bit because I want to work for the club again. No, he's fine. no, he's really good. He's quite he was strict in the thing of like we're not allowed to have breakfast at the same time as the players
Okay.
and things like that in football. I find a bit lame.
Okay.
Is that
It's like a separation thing. They want the players to just be on their own. It's like that's fine, but we're all human beings. Why?
it doesn't really matter if I'm eating my cornflakes 2
Yeah.
tables along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all work for Crystal Palace, and it's when you.
But I'd say Dougie's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I had a really good relationship with him.
Yeah.
And but he doesn't really do interviews. So the Palace for Life thing was a rare thing, and the When Eagles Dare was like the only time.
Well, we had him on Homesdale Radio.
Oh yeah, that was
and
really
it
good.
was. It's so funny because there was the whole. I think was it on the BBS the conspiracy theory thread that because he shortly then re-signed for the club and became director of football, and everyone was like, Steve Parrish's spoon-fed Freedman to Homesdale Radio to interview him to get him back into good graces of the club, where in reality it was like, what was the story?
It's my mate Jim. My mate Jim, it's my dad's mate Jim, who I now share a season ticket with. Was like a financial advisor and just happened to and lived in the area and was like, I think he was Dougie Freedman's mortgage broker. And I just said to him, "Oh, I don't suppose could you send this message to Dougie, seeing if he'd be interested to talk to the podcast?" And got a text back, and all of a sudden Dougie Freedman. I've still got it. I've still got Dougie Freedman's phone number in my or an old number maybe in my phone book, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." And then cut to I'm in my conservatory, and you're on wherever you are. It's like, I don't know, we're talking to Dougie Freedman, and it was just so candid and really honest. And
It was great. I remember I listened to that in preparation for the one interview I did.
Yeah, it was like, it was crazy because he says it a lot of like during the interview. It's like, I don't really like looking back, and that's something he said with the Palace for Life thing as well. And you talked earlier about pushing people's buttons, and I found with him and through talking to him is the best way to push his buttons is to tell him something as if it's a fact. and then he'll go deep into why it's not a fact, and you like
You broke my heart.
you loosen up
Yeah.
loads of stories.
He's
out.
very good at his job, though, isn't
Yeah.
he?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Without a doubt. Well,
He's so good at getting players to sign, identifying players, having
it's
a vision.
regardless of the mess they're in now, Manchester United don't come knocking if you shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's brilliant.
Yeah.
How was it when you first sort of started working with him? Bearing in mind you said he was like your favourite player, must have been pretty surreal that you're now like dealing with him fairly regularly.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, I was trying to think of an example. But yeah, it is. Very strange that you're getting told by your hero you can't have breakfast between 9 and 11 or whatever it is.
But he's good. So you're saying
But no, I'm joking. He's great.
when you do like media stuff for signings or interviews with the players and stuff, he's quite hands on with that sort of thing as well.
Not really, because he doesn't really. He just says you've got your time with them. Do whatever you want. That's basically it. He's like, do whatever you want. Make them feel special.
Yeah.
But in terms of like going back to your audition video, and one of the things you're saying,
We have to keep going.
Well, I will. Yeah,
People are going to be searching for it now.
I'm the.
Won't find it though, will they?
Not now. He's going to make some phone calls. Get rid of the other.
Yeah.
Get rid of the other.
Well, they haven't changed the login actually.
Right now, it won't be there by the time you watch this. But in terms of you, quite cutely saying that I'm 31 years old. I'm same age as the players, which I think of players are usually over the hill by that.
I'm only a month younger than Paddy McCarthy.
Yeah, but that's what you say in the video. You say I'm 31, which means I'm the same age as the players, so maybe I can like form a connection with them or something.
Yeah, but really, I was just working.
How yeah, well, exactly. It's like, but how did it like, you know, in that sense of from the start, how was it getting players involved, like, and getting them on side? Was it a difficult process, like a steep hill to climb initially?
Yeah, it was really hard initially.
Yeah.
Pardew helped though, actually, because Pardew was really like almost like ahead of his time when it comes to managers with the media. Like he'd tell us, "Oh, this thing's happening. You should come and film it." Whereas he was the first one that did that. But it was mainly because he knew he was going to be funny in it. He did like staff trials for a staff game, and we filmed that, and he was really funny in it.
Yeah.
He did another one where everyone had to bundle into a room, all the staff, because someone had done a shit in his toilet, and the punishment was
Not again.
the punishment was that this member of staff had to get up in front of all other staff and do stand-up comedy. It was really bad. But no, yeah, players. Yeah, it took a while, but then you end up, the players just change because they're growing up on YouTube now. So you get like Conor Gallagher would see another shoot going on and go, "Oh, what's this?" And it'd be like, "Oh, it's FIFA stats." He's like, because he was going to be doing it. It's like, "Oh, I love that kind of content."
Yeah.
It's like, and it's completely changed now. The players
They're a
want
lot
to
more
do
media savvy and
yeah.
know what
Until then some of the players then get a bit too big and well known. You can tell that they're being advised by people, don't do too much club TV. We want to save you for Burberry or something.
endorsements and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Burberry. Jordan Ayew was one always.
Oh, I love Jordan Ayew.
So, because we talked about this, I think in some DMs. I was like, well done on getting finally an interview out of Jordan Ayew where it felt like he actually wanted to talk about stuff, and because I think it's COVID probably killed Ayew in that sense of he won everything. Do you remember goal of the season, player of the season, player of the season, and he just kept coming out in the empty stand and like doing those really generic interviews.
There's all that stuff is such a blur. That was trying to do an award ceremony during COVID virtually. Yeah, I felt sorry for him because he was really, really proud to win those awards. You could tell he was like emotional. He's a really funny guy. He's just had a thing from the start. He always used to laugh and joke. He just walks and has a resting face, like he's really sad.
And I think you kind of got an insight from that little clip with when they're filming out the Player of the Year forms. And
Will Hughes,
Will Hughes, and
so
he's like, "You've won." He's like, "Oh, I've won one of these," and he was like, "You've won one of these." He was like, "Yeah, you're getting relegated at Watford." Sorry, Albert.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to move into more difficult moments now. So has there been points where like players or managers maybe who've been really sad to see go? Like in terms of they've been really easy to work with, they've been nice to you, and then they go and it's just like...
Yeah, it's I think the first time. Well, Pards was a bit of a big one because he was like, although Warnock was there when I joined, Pards was like the first manager, and there was a bit of a, I had like a funny relationship with him where people thought he was bullying me, but I got that it was humour. But sometimes I hated him because I was doing post-match interviews for the first time, and sometimes he'd just be like, "Nah, rubbish question, another one, no, do another one," or he'd be in a. There was one really spiky interview he did with Jeff Shreves once. I think it was the Liverpool one where it was when Benteke won the penalty.
Yeah.
Right at the end, and he'd done a horrible interview, and he just walked into my one, and he punched the wall, punched it again, and just turned around and went, "Careful what you ask me."
Wow.
But then he was really funny as well.
Yeah.
So, Pards, what was the question? I've lost. How did I get to that?
In terms of people leaving.
Oh, people leaving. Yeah. So when he left, that was weird because we'd been at like the Christmas party a couple of days before, and I was supposed to be coming in and doing an interview with him when he was like, "You're going to do an interview with me. Ask me whatever you want. Just ask honest, brutal stuff about the team's performances and that." And then it got cancelled. And then the next day we were playing. We missed it because I think it was me and Sam Jordan. There was this massive like 80-inch screen that they just got put in for analysis. And I brought in the Xbox and plugged it in. And it was an empty training ground because it was just before Christmas, wasn't it? Yeah. And we were just playing FIFA in the thing. And then someone was like, "Guys, what are you doing? Have you not seen?" And we walked out and it was on the yellow ticket around the thing that he'd been sacked. Like, shit, no one told us.
And how it's like, because Pardew a good example of, you had some amazing times with him. Like that first calendar year is just phenomenal. Like one of the best times to be a Palace fan.
That year was incredible.
It was
Unbelievable.
And even after that, making the FA Cup final and coming so close to winning it. Yeah, but you kind of like then have that. What did it feel like around that time when inevitably you knew it was going towards him getting sacked? He just had to because of the whole. The social media around the time was the whole Welsh town thing, right, with the L's and the D's and all of that thrown in. And we were really struggling to win, and then Swansea away happened, and that was, I feel like, and it came a little bit after that. That was inevitably one of the final nails in the coffins where I think he really lost the fans in that sense.
Yeah,
like, that day is like, it's so far to go. It was cold. It was like, we'd done so well to come back in the game to go 4-3 up, and then to throw it away, it just felt awful. So, what do you sense it around the training ground in that? You're trying to do your job, but
do you know what you don't?
Tense.
It's one of those, maybe like a misconception of fans would think that when you lose, the training ground's like a horrible place to be, but you don't feel it as much. You can sense that some other people, not necessarily the manager, but other members of staff get nervous because if it's a rumour that of another coach coming in, like say someone like, when Nuno was rumoured and it was like, oh, he'll bring 7 staff with him, then obviously there's people that you're friends with that are like, oh shit, that'll be me gone and I've got a mortgage to pay. But you can't really sense it amongst the players or the coaches. It's always pretty steady. Vieira, I was really surprised. I didn't think he'd go at that point, but I was just disappointed because he bought Fortnum and Mason hamper for every member of staff each Christmas.
Well, it was interesting with Vieira because it was the case of he's talked about it since of like deflection tactics or whatever, but he's saying he understands why Parish made that decision to get rid of him because he's like the run of fixtures that were coming up. He's like, I would have probably won those games as well, but it makes Parish look like the genius in this situation because he's brought in a new manager. We've won all these games. We've blasted our way to safety and so on. He's like, obviously Vieira backs himself and be like, I feel like, but I think
he was great. I think he just didn't have the right coaches. All of them. I think that was But he was
I was glad it didn't work. I think most fans.
Me too. He just totally got the club. He the style of the play in that first season was brilliant. He was so personable. With every member of staff. With British managers, to generalise, there's more of like, from the ones that we've had, there's more of like an alpha male kind of thing about it, where the boss is the boss, and it's like, they'll be like, oh, Gaffer's in a bad mood.
I say the gaffer,
Yeah, Gaffer's in a bad mood today. You're like, okay, well, does he have to be in a bad mood with everyone? Which didn't happen with Vieira or like someone like Glasner.
Yeah.
Like Vieira was amazing. The fact that he just makes you feel great because he just comes around and just pats people on the back or just put his arm around people, even when things are going bad. He wouldn't take it out on someone that has nothing to do with it.
Nice.
I remember Brighty saying that once, that someone had told him that it's the way he tries to live his life. He said, you shouldn't, if someone asks you a question about whether to do something or how we're going to do it, the answer shouldn't change because you're in a mood. Like it shouldn't be like, oh, it's not a good time to ask that person now. It should always be a good time because you should be able to see through that. So Vieira was amazing like that. And then Glasner, I remember when he joined, he was so lovely. And even like we were sat in the canteen at the training ground, and then he came and said, oh, do you mind if I sit with you guys? I was like,
Not now, we're having our breakfast.
imagine if I said no.
Like coaching staff
Yeah.
and other staff
Imagine
are separate,
Yes,
please.
Yeah.
How was Frank de Boer?
Yeah, he was
Was he all right?
all right. Yeah.
'Cause obviously
I
the
felt we
route-
were a bit to
Well,
blame for.
I was going to say the rumours were that he was
We
like,
as in
The
your
media
team,
team.
or the media team.
Yeah, all that stuff about him showing off, like Glenn Hoddle-esque.
pinging all the free kicks.
Yeah,
in
it's
and
only
stuff.
like he pinged them in, but he missed a few. But we just put all the good ones together because he got a load of views on social media. And like him doing press ups, I don't know if he lost a bit of weight in the first few months. So he was like, while the guys were warming up, he'd be doing press ups, and we put that out. And I think people were like, oh, why is he joining in? I was like, oh, he's just literally trying to lose weight. So I didn't sense from the players that they're annoyed about the free kick thing. They're probably like more like it was, the obvious things like playing. Was it Townsend as a right wing back all through pre-season, then they're not in the first game?
I think it was Joel Ward, wasn't it? Like Joel Ward was
Watching.
We played-
right centre back.
he told Kells he'd never play for the club apparently, and then played him at wing back.
Yeah, because it was
That's
Kells
like
and
Luca,
Damo that were
wasn't it?
training with the 21s or 23.
And then Luca at sweeper.
He played Luca at like right centre
Yeah.
back of a
He-
three,
but he
and
was
then
all-
played him in centre mid. Yeah, it was
But he was all right. It didn't feel like an absolute shambles during that pre-season, but it was a difficult one to tell because we went to Hong Kong for a thing, and it was a nightmare there anyway. Anyway, it was just raining the whole week. The pitch was crap. It was.
Came in late as well, didn't he? Like, it dragged on a bit.
Yeah, it did. Like we had that whole running joke about how it would take us about 6 weeks to employ a manager each time, and then how it just got with each one, it just extended in time.
And we used him to launch the Manbet Black kit, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he then went on to say in the interview, Johan Cruyff always said we shouldn't wear black because you can't see the players. We're trying to sell this, mate.
Speaking of the Hong Kong
Good
thing,
kit, bad sponsor.
Yeah.
there you go, good kit, bad sponsor. Speaking of Hong Kong, were you able to enjoy the pre-seasons that you went to, like
Yeah, I
South
love
Africa and Hong
pre-seasons.
Kong?
And some, yeah, it was such hard work, like ridiculous hours. You're working from like 8 a.m. till 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some of them. South Africa, we didn't see that much of. The weather wasn't great, but it was in Cape Town was incredible. The American ones were the best, I think. Have you ever done any of them?
No,
Oh.
I did one. We did one game in Switzerland a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Literally one game against young boys.
Oh, I thought it
I
was
did
two.
I did the other one.
Oh, maybe we
did
did
the
two.
Two
We
games,
did
yeah, because I got
It
married
wasn't- yeah, it
on the
wasn't-
Saturday, so I missed the first one, but I came up with
Yes.
the second.
It
one.
So-
wasn't. They weren't both in Switzerland, were they? One
No,
was
they-
in Sweden, Halmstad, wasn't
Oh
it?
no, that was a different one.
I think
that,
they were- I
that
think-
was a Roy one. They were both Roy ones,
Yeah.
which is because they were boring pre-season games.
Yeah.
Because we went to boring places. Malmo for a week, but we didn't play. We played Halmstad and Helsingor.
Yeah, Helsingor. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. We did play 2 games in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I went to the young boys one,
yeah.
which was fine. Like, I mean, it was good. It was fun, but obviously, for a fan, Switzerland's really fucking expensive.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So we were there for
Yeah,
like a couple of days, but it would be good to do one of the American ones. That would be fun.
Yeah.
yeah. The recent one, the one we did Philadelphia, Cincinnati, and Vancouver. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you get to like
Australia was good.
see any of the cities? Or
Yeah,
you
we
just,
had.
like,
Yeah, you
working?
can go and try and have a bit of time to wander around. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So there's no the Sunderland loss where a fan gets on the pitch and Damien Delaney's having it out with him.
I wasn't there.
So that was before your time.
No, I was working for the club, but I was on holiday in LA, and I watched it.
Go away for 1 week.
Yeah, I watched it in the southern in LA with the SoCal supporters group,
Okay.
which was like it was great. It was like 3 people, but it was great.
Yeah, I've just done the same. I was in Austin last week and met up with the Austin Eagle.
Oh, okay. I've probably met them.
And there were like 5 or 6 of them, but we rolled up with like my extended family. So it was like my wife, her brothers and sisters, their spouses, our friends. So we like tripled the number of people. That really good. It's really cool to hang out with them though.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't that game. That was the Stoke 0-0 that I watched there. I was on my brother's stag do
Yeah.
the week before. Yeah, I missed all of that.
Okay.
But then Big Sam took everyone to Morocco on a training camp. We were there to film the 2 training sessions to make it look like that, and the rest of it was team bonding.
Bit of a
And then
drama.
we went on a winning run.
Pint of
So
wine.
it worked.
Okay, right. We're getting close to the end, so let's wrap up a bit. So, best memories. What's your favourite memories? If you had to do your top 3.
We've probably already talked about them, haven't we? Yeah, the documentary coming out.
Documentary is great.
Cult Heroes. You already brought that up.
Yeah,
And then that FA Cup semi was pretty cool.
nice. Best viral moment. So, in terms of thinking about the Martin Kelly slide video, for example.
Yeah, that was good.
What other ones did we have?
Yeah, we didn't go. We had the tasty jerk thing.
Tasty
That
jerk.
was someone's idea on the BBS, though, wasn't it? I think we'd seen it, and then
Yeah, didn't we have one where it was JP doing a step over for like a 5-minute? Yeah,
Yeah.
that weren't bad.
yeah, that was good.
Will Hughes saying his name.
Will Hugh.
Oh yeah, I like the pronunciation videos.
Pronunciation video.
Those are
They
good.
didn't do that this year. Well, obviously
Do
I'm not
players like when you're doing media day? I'm assuming it goes on for ages.
Yeah,
'cause
so
they've
they're
got to
doing
do
all the other
different-
stuff. Yeah, so we used to do loads. We used to have like party streamers, and they wear hats and things, and then yeah, the pronunciation ones. Yeah, so they do it all, but I just say it twice, say it once normally, and then once like you're talking to either a small child or a stupid person, and that's why they're all going Wilfried Zaha.
Do they get fed? Like, is it easy to get them going for that? Are they fed up by the point?
No, they're all right, and then
Yeah.
there's normally others hanging around laughing with them. I find the players are all right.
Yeah,
And everyone works there is great, but I feel like the people around them try and like protect them too much from doing. They'd complain, like say Cinch would go, "Oh, well, they want to do a shoot with players. Oh, of course they've asked for Wilf, Ebbs, and Mark." Like rolling their eyes, well, they're not going to get them. And I was like, "Of course they have. They're paying millions of pounds.
They're-
of course they're going.
and
They're
they're like a
always
famous player.
they're always going to ask.
Yeah.
For the big players to just give it to them, but there's too many people around them going, "Oh, they can't do too much." But the players happily do it.
I guess they kind of expect it as well, right? Like, oh, I'll just do this for an hour and that's it.
Yeah, I mean they'll complain. They'll probably complain to try and get out of it, but only because they know that if they do, they'll get out of it, and then someone like Joel Ward will always do it.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for those players that are the ones that are always up for post-match interviews. You know that there's certain players that will never do a post-match interview if you lose, and there's players like Joel that will always step up and do it and will never say no.
Nicest man ever?
Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel's lovely,
Yeah.
yeah. So many of them are now.
You do the just do a Michael Elise and just either don't do it for anything or just hold up the gun like in his goal.
Oh, good. That was and they put that out that day, didn't they? BT Sport on social, and then the club were like, "Why have you put that out?"
But it's Eze's reaction is just making
Yeah.
oh, he's a gangster.
It's
like
so good.
quite funny. And then I think there's the question we had over and over and over and over again from all listeners: who was the biggest knob? Don't have to answer, but that I might get pelters on online. But don't.
I don't think I can do that because someone will say the person's, and I'll tell you. I've told you privately.
Fair enough. So we'll end on
probably me by the end.
So I asked. So we'll end on. Obviously, the greatest piece of content you ever produced was my wedding video,
Yeah, that was good.
which was how did that process end up occurring? So I think my best man said he just emailed you.
Yeah, he got in touch.
Yeah.
And then we happened to be filming when we were still doing it, season review interviews. So that's when we did Johan Kabay, I think,
Yeah.
and a few others. And then it was also at that kit shoot at that underground
Yeah, that's
thing at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, the underground station.
Did you
We
feel
just said
guilty?
there's a guy.
Did you feel guilty for the copyright strikes? And you were like, well,
No, it was
We've got to do it.
free.
Free this, yeah, free, yeah,
Yeah, they thought it was funny, so they were just like,
yeah,
yeah. Jason Puncheon was brilliant. I love Jason Puncheon.
yeah. So he's just become a manager in Iron Apple.
in Iron Nap, of course he has.
Yeah.
Croydon with Sun.
A football team, not a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so anyone, I'll dig it out and share it. But it was the whole premise was Palace players across the board being shown that my wife was way hotter than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely punching, and then the punchline being that ends with Jason punching, going, "No, I'm punching."
Yeah. Have a great day.
There's a belt joke. I'm not going to do it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that is it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Right. So I think that's it.
Oh, great.
So, thank
Great.
you so
Thanks
much.
so
for
much. It
coming
was
on.
felt it's embarrassing you saying nice things, but it's yeah, I really appreciate you asking me on, giving me beer and a hat.
Yeah, I expect it.
I hopefully see you at some games soon. I've had a few off. I went to the first 2 of the season, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna have a bit of a break, especially with the baby arriving. I thought
Yeah.
I'll have a step away. It's so nice to watch a game and us lose, and me go, that's annoying, and then go, don't have to have a meeting about it on Monday though. I don't have to think about it until the next game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember that I meant to say at that Pardew period where it was really bad. I do remember some of those games around that time. Just, I think it was when we lost. Was it the Anderson Sam had taken over, and was there a Swansea home one? The Wolf score a volley thing.
And we
I remember just lying down on the floor in our office after that, just going, "When is this going to get good again?"
Yeah. No, it's right, and I always feel like good goals in defeats kind of just
Don't count,
disappear.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go from my memory, and that is one where it's just like you see it in montage videos of Wilf, and you're just like, "Man, I shouldn't be in there."
Yeah,
That was a horrible night.
yeah,
Where and then you end up, you know how it is as fans. You have Jeffrey Schlupp versus Bournemouth at home when we're down to 10 men for most of the game. And you're just like, outside of the club, no one knows. They just see Palace 1-0 at home against Bournemouth on a Tuesday night.
we went nuts. So that was at a time when I was watching it. We were where Mike was with the PA, but the analysts used to be with us as well. So we'd always know what was going on because we hear them talking to the bench, and all of us, there's like 5 or 6 of us, just jumping all over, hugging each other.
Yeah, brilliant night. But yeah,
That was great,
So-
great.
But yeah, no, brilliant. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
Really,
thank
really
you.
Appreciate
I love
it.
the podcast.
Yep, good. And
you very much.
good luck with all your future endeavours.
Thank you.
Whatever it is you choose to go and do, or
Don't know. It's hard to say what my job is at the moment. I'm just
winging it.
freelance mim.
Podcast
I am winging it.
guest.
I'm winging it at the
Winging
moment.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Great
Did
bit of
cricket
cinema.
in the summer. That was interesting. That was good.
And what was it, Terence? A hat and a beer is 12 quid, isn't it?
It's a good deal.
No, thanks.
Yeah, well, let's say what was the beer called again? It was called People, Money, Space, Time, which I think we've covered all of those. It's
We've
cost
run
us
out of
money
all
to
those
beer,
things.
so we've run out of money. So yeah, we've got to call it a day now. And yeah, no. So really appreciate you coming on. You're welcome anytime, of course. I think you fit nicely in with the dynamics. So, and yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
Catch
guys.
you as always.
Nice to meet you all.
Let's go and get a curry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Cheers, Chris. Well
Yeah,
done, mate.
cheers.
That's Chris.
Thank you.
And until next time, up the Palace.
UTP.